El Chapo, aka Joaquin Guzman Loera, is known for being a narco god in the drug trade, wielding unparalleled influence as the former leader of one of Mexico's most notorious cartels, the Sinaloa cartel. But yet, there were those who foolishly underestimated his power, following the grave consequences. Here are 5 times idiots underestimating the notorious El Chapo. And first up, we have this judge called Vicente Bermúdez, who thought he could play with the devil and escape his claws. In his arrogance, Bermúdez dared to thwart El Chapo's prison escape scheme, only to become ensnared in a web of consequence beyond his comprehension. Born in 1979, Guanajuato, Mexico, Vicente was destined for a career in law, influenced by his father's legal profession and his mother's teaching career. Growing up in Santa Rosa, Plan de Ayala, Leon, he excelled academically, earning a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Guanajuato. His legal journey led him through various roles until he became a district court judge in Mexico City in December 2013. In his pursuit of justice, Vicente found himself entangled with El Chapo when he decided to intervene with his case. During his investigations, he uncovered irregularities orchestrated by his predecessors, who were evidently paid off by El Chapo. Armed with damning evidence, instead of backing down, Zacchaeus boldly accused his predecessors of collusion with the notorious Druglord. This disrupted El Chapo's carefully laid plans for escape, making him vow to vengeance. El Chapo, known for his ruthless manipulation, saw Vicente's actions as a direct challenge to his authority and reputation. Fueled by anger, he carefully planned his revenge and executed it 6 months later. During Vicente's morning jog, he was brutally attacked. A mysterious assailant shot him in the head, leaving him fatally wounded. Despite efforts to save him, Vicente succumbed to his injuries before help arrived. Investigations later revealed a shocking connection to El Chapo, causing widespread shock. This revelation underscored that the assailant was one of El Chapo's hired hitmen, employed to eliminate those who dared to challenge his authority. Vicente's tragedy served as a grim reminder of the pervasive grip of violence and power El Chapo wielded on his hands. This is not the only idiot punished by El Chapo. Meet Juan Jesus Posadas Ocampo, a man who dared to directly challenge the wrath of El Chapo. Is this bravery or stupidity? How could one risk his safety so recklessly? Apparently, this cardinal didn't share such concerns, opting to testify in El Chapo's case, a choice he would soon regret. Born on November 10, 1926, in Salvatierra, Guanajuato, Mexico, Juan Jesus Posadas Ocampo became a priest in 1950. He served for 20 years before becoming the bishop of Tijuana, and eventually rose to become a cardinal. Posadas gained acclaim for his crusades against drug cartels, expressing his unwavering dedication in his impassioned speeches. However, the crusades he embarked upon granted him access to sensitive information he should never have possessed, revealing the intricate connections El Chapo had with the Mexican government. In his quest for justice, he opted to become a witness, a decision that infuriated El Chapo, who swore vengeance upon him. On the fateful day of May 24, 1993, tragedy struck at Guadalajara International Airport as Posadas Ocampo, accompanied by 6 others, fell victim to a ruthless attack. Ocampo, sitting in his car, was subjected to 14 gunshot wounds that led to his instant death. After some investigations, the case was disregarded as collateral damage in cartel crossfire. But a decade later, a revived probe revealed a terrible truth. It pointed to a meticulously planned assassination orchestrated by powerful figures including El Chapo and elements within the Mexican government. As shocking as Posadas' death may sound, the next story of this man will blow your mind. His name is Rodolfo Carrillo, a man who foolishly dared to challenge the authority of the same El Chapo by targeting one of his trusted associates. In a reckless act of defiance, he foolishly unleashed his wrath upon El Chapo's inner circle, a grave mistake that was not taken lightly. Born on July 20, 1975, into a prominent family in Navolato, Mexico, Rodolfo was inevitably bound to a life steeped in cartel intrigue. As the younger sibling of Amado and Vicente, he garnered the nickname El Niño de Oro, emblematic of his pivotal role in the underworld following Amado's demise and Vicente's ascendancy to cartel leadership. Rodolfo was elevated to the forefront of negotiations with rival cartels. His resentment towards El Chapo grew stronger during rough times. In 2003, Rodolfo disagreed with El Chapo's plan for a cartel federation. During the failed Nueve Leon raids against the Gulf Cartel, Rodolfo made a regrettable choice to confront El Chapo and his soldiers, particularly targeting El Chapo's mercenary soldier, El Jaguar. In a tense restroom encounter, he aimed his firearm at El Jaguar, seeking retribution for his boss's action. This move was seen by El Chapo as a direct challenge to his authority, setting off a chain reaction of vengeance. On September 11, 2004, Rodolfo, fearing El Chapo's wrath, left the cinema with his family, but in the parking lot they were ambushed by El Uno's men. Rodolfo and his wife were gunned down. It's chilling how these leaders seek revenge so ruthlessly, isn't it? But if this story doesn't captivate you, the next one surely will. One's family can prove to be an untouchable dominion, especially when connected to one of the notorious leaders of Mexico's cartel. Such was the case for this police officer called Eduardo N., who found himself entangled in the apprehension of one of El Chapo's sons, a decision he would swiftly come to regret. This 30-year-old officer found himself thrust into the chaos of El Chapo's raid, fulfilling the call of duty without hesitation. But his role extended beyond that of a typical officer. He was a member of Sinaloa's State Preventative Police, tasked with safeguarding Undersecretary of Public Safety Carlos Alberto Hernandez Leyva. Assigned to patrol the region as part of an anti-drug unit, he couldn't shake his curiosity about the unfolding situation. His decision to venture to the crime scene where El Chapo's son was being apprehended proved to be a fatal misstep. Amidst the tumult of the arrest attempt on Guzman Lopez, El Chapo's associates quickly singled him out as a target. This prompted a solemn pledge to use him as a stark warning, intended to dissuade any other law enforcement officers from daring to challenge their dominance. 3 weeks later, the repercussions caught up with him, and he began to unravel. As the officer parked his white vehicle outside a shopping center, the tranquility shattered. Suddenly, a red vehicle pulled up beside him, disgorging armed gunmen who unleashed a relentless barrage of gunfire at close range. In a mere 30 seconds, 155 shots echoed through the air before the assailants swiftly vanished. This ruthless assault delivered a fatal message, demonstrating the cartel's formidable reach and serving as a grim warning to all who dared challenge their authority. But if this isn't crazy, wait until you hear the next story, as the craziest of all, as I saved the best for last. Meet Javier Valdez Cardenas, a journalist who naively decided to spill the dark secrets of El Chapo and his cartel, without considering the dire consequences. Ignorant of the dangers that lay ahead, he boldly exposed the illicit activities involving El Chapo through the pages of the newspapers. Unaware of the grave peril he was placing himself in, his actions drew the attention and ire of El Chapo and his ruthless followers. Born on April 14, 1967, amidst the tumult of a city consumed by violence, Javier was intimately acquainted with the harsh realities from an early age. Despite the challenges of drug wars and trafficking, he pursued a sociology degree from the University of Sinaloa and landed a job at Canal 3, a TV station. Determined to change the canal's approach to crime, Javier founded Rio Du, a bold newspaper unmasking organized crime. However, this courageous stance made him a prime target for the dangers lurking in the shadows, as Javier dedicated himself to uncovering the insidious actions of the Sinaloa cartel. His efforts culminated in the creation of a compelling book titled Hitman, Confession of an Assassin in Sudares. This publication enraged El Chapo and his cohorts, prompting them to deem Javier a threat. On May 15, 2017, Javier fell victim to a brutal attack, sustaining 12 gunshot wounds from an unidentified assailant near his office in Culiacan, Sinaloa. Despite exhaustive investigations, the perpetrator remained elusive, leaving Mexican authorities without viable suspects or leads. Given the circumstances and the severity of the incident, it's difficult to attribute the crime to anyone other than El Chapo Guzman and his network.